This is Barry Heads with Sharp Counsel. Thanks for tuning in to today's Sharp Snippet. We are still in the Courage series. This is the last piece of the series, our third one, and we're going to call this snippet Courageous Issues. Courageous Issues. So what happens when we don't have courage? I want you to ponder that for a second. What happens when we don't have courage? I'll start with this: a loss of self respect and a loss of self esteem. A loss of self respect and a loss of self esteem. And I think that's where it hurts the most because if we're, let's say this, if we are in a state of fear or an occurrence that something happens in our lives that brings about fear. Um, it could be financial, it could be relational, it could be um, there's so many different routes we can go. It could be health. But when we're in a state of fear and we lack courage, it could be sort of traumatizing to a degree. And if we continue to find ourselves in that state where a moment of fear comes to play in our lives and we continue to not take courageous steps, we lose a bit of self respect and a little bit of self esteem. Our self esteem goes down. I truly believe that because sooner or later we have to look ourselves in the mirror as adults and we have great memories. And then we think to ourselves, how did I react in this situation? And the thing about walking courageously through life is that even when you're in a fearful state and you show courage and you take courageous steps, if it doesn't work out the way you wanted it to, you don't lose respect and you typically don't lose your self-esteem because you know in your heart of hearts, even if someone's mocking you or laughing at your pain, you know you took a risk, you know you took courageous steps, and you know in your heart of hearts you got to see yourself, your own strength, and you probably improved that. The next thing I want to talk about is that when we don't have courage, we don't reach our potential. And that's not just in business, it's just simply becoming a more loving person, a more joyful person. If you find yourself, for example, if you find yourself um, not taking courageous steps in your life outside of your home, when you come home, that'll lead to disgruntled actions, depression, um, not loving yourself, not being a joyful person. That bleeds into your relationships with your spouse, your children, nieces and nephew, cousins, grandkids, etc., wherever you are in life. But I truly believe, I'm not a doctor, but I truly believe that um, our lives bleed into different realms. So when you're outside the house, if you're lacking courage, that bleeds over into how you behave and how you're received inside of your house. Now, we might end up trying to hold others back when we lack courage. And it's one of the more evil things I see in life, holding others back because we lack courage. So we try to put our own fears onto someone else. Or maybe you've acted courageously and you see someone else try to put their fears onto you. Walk away from that. Even if it's a family member, maybe you don't have to walk away from the relationship entirely, but you might need to take a moment to separate yourself when they're pushing their fears onto you. Or even if you guys have a great relationship, you might just want to tell them straight out what's going on and how you feel about it. Last two things I wanted to leave us with. Number one being when we don't have courage or when we lack courage and other people see us in that state, they lose respect for us. All right. That's not the biggest thing in the world. Other people holding you in high respect, high esteem. But it does matter from time to time, especially in your business relationship. So I find that other people don't respect us that much. And finally, when we don't have courage, we miss out on opportunities. And like I said before in the courage series, opportunities don't last forever. Some last 5 years or more. Some opportunities last a year, some months, some weeks, some days, and some seconds at a time. Um, so I'm sure you're like me. You don't want to miss out on opportunities. Opportunities don't last a lifetime. They last, as one of my mentors say, they last a lifetime of the opportunity. So have courage, take courage, be brave, be bold. This is Barry Heads with Sharp Counsel. Thanks for tuning in.